After a period of hardship and struggle, what was it like to finally come home?
Coming home, I was getting really excited about coming home to seeing my children and also our pet dog, who I care for very much. As we drove into the driveway, he was barking and yelling.
It's Grandpa! It's Grandpa!
I hadn't seen him in 10 days, so it was exciting to see him because him and I are pals, and it was great to see him. And you could tell that he really missed me, really did.
Oh, he's shaking. He's so happy. Oh my god.
Hey, baby.
Oh, Leo's trying to. Oh, he's like, don't leave, don't leave.
What does that feel like?
There's just a little bit of tenderness only, but the stitch was. This is where they started breaking open my sternum right here, and then where they ended opening up my heart to grab my heart to put the new veins from my leg. So, my name is Raymond Rodriguez. I'm 66 years old. I work for Bay Area Rapid Transit. I work as a station agent. I was the day that it happened. I was working overtime. It was New Year's Eve. I was working the swing shift at the airport. We started at 5:50 in the afternoon, and we were working until 4 o'clock in the morning the next morning on New Year's Day. As I was returning back from lunch at the airport, I felt a massive pain in my heart. My chest just felt like it was about to explode. I did not realize I just had a major heart attack. I didn't know what it was. And finally, when I got back to the booth, I felt fine. So I let it go. The next day, my wife had to work early. She was also working overtime on New Year's Day. I told her about it when she got home at about 3 o'clock. And she just started yelling at me about, we need to take you to emergency now. And we rushed to the hospital due to my condition, and they ended up keeping me overnight and also for the next night as well. They did several tests on me, and they required them to take me to Santa Clara to have surgery, which I thought they were going to put another stent in. They didn't put a stent in because my arteries were so blocked that they required additional surgery, which was shocking to me. Because anytime you hear anybody having a triple bypass, or that is the heart surgery that is just between life and death for many people. I was in complete shock. And I was in complete shock until the day they took me into the operating room, which was the most eerie thing. Going into the operating room, there was like 9 people in there, all going to work to keep me alive, and it made me happy to be alive, and I knew I was going to come out of this okay, and I did. Because when I woke up, my wife was sitting right next to me, and that was really, really special. The restrictions I had initially when I first came home was, and the doctors were very clear about that, not to be picking anything up more than 5 pounds in each hand. Also, not to bend down and pick anything up off the floor. That was extremely difficult for me to get used to, especially 5 pounds. You'd be surprised how easily things weigh over 5 pounds, anything that you do. But I had to do these things for 6 weeks. But my chest is healing very well right now, so I'm off those restrictions. So it looks like it's going to be a full recovery.
Coronavirus has swept through the nation. Over 85,000 cases and over 1,000 deaths. Statewide lockdown.
The coronavirus, for somebody in my position, is extremely dangerous. Being 66 years old, having a heart condition, and also having diabetes, I had to be really, really careful. Those were 3 of 7 things that anybody in that category had to be careful, and that has restricted me from going to the stores. My daughter's been really good about saying, hey, I'll go to the store instead. I had children late in life. I don't know if that made a difference or not, because I was, when my daughter was born, I was 42. I was 42 when she was born. And so I was already middle-aged already, a little bit close to middle age. And then Josh was born 2.5 years later. I guess I didn't grasp how important it was to develop relationships with my kids. Even though I thought I had relationships with them, I wish I would have had deeper relationships with them. I really took it, not advantage of the love that my family was giving to me, but it's sometimes tough to say, that you could have done better. I always thought I was, but seeing that death was so close, it made me realize how much my family loves me, and I never appreciated it much, and it makes me feel sad that I never did, because I lost out all of the years as my kids were growing older. I miss that. I miss that with them. So, but I realized that they love me a lot, and that's important to me. And to my wife as well, so. Everybody stepped forward and took care of me, and I really, really appreciate it, and I will step forward for them anytime they need help. My wife and I are planning this summer to retire. We are planning to purchase a home in Missouri. You tend to forget things that are important, and things that are important are your family. And I do respect them a lot for what they've done and what they're doing, but it is a tough situation sometimes. But now I feel better about how I feel about them, easy to express it, and I want to be more involved in their lives and what they do, and help them with whatever the help they need, I will help them with. I was relieved, and I was pleased to be